This morning, we've been getting a sneak peek at the annual Fire Truck Festival at North Carolina's Transportation Museum. So we want to get back out to QC Live's Jorge Andres, because Jorge, there's just so much for people to see this weekend.
Well, absolutely, Mary. Not just to see, but really to learn about the history of not just fire trucks, but the town of Spencer as well, which is why I'm joined by the Chief of Fire, Michael Lanning, Fire Chief rather. And Michael, first of all, tell us about this festival. It's going to be something that is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of kids that are there, and everybody always says the kids get kind of bit by the fire bug. You're the fire chief here. Can you kind of transport yourself to when you were a kid and got that passion?
Absolutely. So I'm a fourth generation fireman, first one to do it in my family as a career. So I grew up in a firehouse. I knew from the moment I was 2 or 3 that I wanted to be a fireman. And fortunately, I'm a big kid that's been able to live out his dream.
That's amazing. And I mentioned learning about the history of the town of Spencer. These 2 trucks right here, they were trucks that were used here in Spencer. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so we'll start here with the hose cart. It's been cited back to 1913 that the Spencer shops that was operated then by Southern Railway had 3 hose cart teams staffed by 11 members each and carried roughly 2,000 feet of hose. So that was the early quote-unquote fire truck here that protected the shops. Then we've got our 1947 Mack that is one of the earliest motorized fire trucks for the town. And a little fun fact about it, when it was ordered in the 40s, communication styles were not what they were today. Radio, pagers, so on and so forth did not exist. So there was a bell, or a siren rather, here on the campus of the shops. And when we would get a call, or the town would get a call, they would have a horn, and it would tell them what ward or what section to go to. And so when they received this truck in the 40s, they actually cut the roof off. That way staff at the time could look up in the sky to look for the smoke columns.
Wow, it's all this stuff that you learn, not just about fire trucks, but just the history of the town of Spencer. I want to ask you this question here, Michael, because when we look at the other pieces that we have over here, as I don't want to call you a historian, but as somebody who has been around fire trucks, 4th generation firemen, what's it like to see the technology change? Like you mentioned, no radios on that original truck, and now obviously everything with technology. What's it been like to see that change?
It's been a positive change, right? And I think any technological advance happens normally through unfortunate circumstances, whether it's injuries or death of a brother or sister fireman. That's really what moves the big changes. The one negative that I would say about all the advances is that we no longer get to ride tailboard. Up until about the early 90s, if you notice, a lot of these fire trucks only have 2 seats. So the additional staff would ride on the side of the engines or the back. That's something that I think I was maybe born in the wrong era. I think that would have been a pretty awesome thing to have been able to have done. But for the most part, all of the advances are done for our safety and for the safety of the citizens. Better allows us to do our job and to be able to serve them.
And at the end of the day, you guys are heroes, putting your lives on the line to protect the community, to serve the community. Now the community is able to see some of that history, whether it was Engine 29 from Winston-Salem, the 1917 hook and ladder, or the original one that you mentioned. We will also take a look when we close the show at the fire trucks today from 2024. One last question for you, Michael. I got about a little less than a minute left. For all the fire fans out there, the fire truck fans out there, what do you leave them about coming this weekend?
I encourage everyone to come. Again, it's an event for all ages. I think we've got around 70 fire trucks registered, mostly from North Carolina, some from out of state. There's a decent size of antique collectors that'll bring some rare or more hard to find apparatus to the town. I believe that the North Carolina Transportation Museum is kind of a hidden gem here in Spencer, and so I strongly encourage everyone to come out.
You're going to get to see fire trucks new and old from all over the state, all over counties. Mary, this is going to be a fun event. Again, the 9th annual Fire Truck Festival happening in just a couple of days.
Oh, I love it, Jorge. Thank you for such a great sneak peek. I know so many people are going to be making their way to Spencer, and hopefully you've weighed in there on the word of the day, inspired by all this at WPTV.com/vote.